I carried on my trip in Europe all the way to Dubrovnik. I was very excited because Dubrovnik is the city of King's Landing. That's where they filmed most of the shots in King's Landing, and I was very excited to see the set. I had never been to Croatia before, and it was absolutely amazing to have this opportunity. So the one thing I remember is that there was not that much Game of Thrones merch actually. There was quite a bit of it, but it wasn't overpowering. Dubrovnik, I don't know if it's because of Game of Thrones or obviously because it's beautiful, but it's now become the #1 city visited in the Balkans. All the tourism takes a little bit of the charm out of Dubrovnik. It's a really expensive place and it's just crowded everywhere. And we went in October. We didn't have one moment where we weren't like surrounded by tourists. So it was kind of a meh for me. I didn't love Dubrovnik, but maybe it's because I'm from the south of France and Dubrovnik has the same kind of landscape, but my Welsh boyfriend loved it. I wasn't too impressed by Dubrovnik, but it's really because of my background. It's still a beautiful city. On the first day, we went on the walls of Dubrovnik because obviously it's like a kind of a medieval city with huge walls surrounding it, at least the old town. Dubrovnik kind of extends around the old town, but we stayed inside of it. And we went on the walls, and it was lovely and it was great because you could see the sea. It was a beautiful day, but again, tourists everywhere, and you just feel like you're in this jam all the time because people are taking pictures, people walking slow, and it's really expensive to get on the walls for like 1 hour, and that was kind of difficult when you're like on a budget. But at least if you keep the ticket for the walls, you can also visit the fort that's just next to it. You can see the fort from the walls, and the walls are actually really impressive. They plunge into the ocean. You can see the ocean just crashing on the walls, which is quite cool. We were in Dubrovnik mid-October, so it was really the perfect time because there was still a bit of a drought and it was really hot. It was like about 26 to 28 degrees. So we went to swim in the sea, and that was great. The sea was really warm, and there's a little bit of a cove next to the port that you can walk to. You can access the sea really easily. You can jump into the sea from different parts of the old town. I think the best time we've had in Dubrovnik though was when we went to Lokrum Island. That was really worth the money because you got the ferry from the port all the way to Lokrum. That's about 15 minutes, and then you can have a full day there. We had a bit of bad luck and had bad weather, but it was still amazing. We had a really good time. The rocks are completely white. There's like a beach of white rocks, and it's a great place for a picnic. So it's great if you have a really beautiful day and take your food with you and you take a couple drinks if you want, and you can just enjoy the day on a rocky beach, obviously. So maybe take plastic shoes if you have some, because otherwise you're gonna hurt your feet. There's also another place called the Dead Sea within the island, which is a little bit scary, and it sounds like a sort of monster is screaming into a cave, and it's not great. When you hear it, it kind of freaks you out.
Oh shit, no! Something, I heard something.
Do it for the gram. But it was just the water rushing into the hole. The island is also very enjoyable because there's loads of wildlife on it. You're greeted by peacocks and rabbits who more or less cohabit peacefully. Don't peg this rabbit. Oh my god.
Face to face.
Oh my god. So if you have time, definitely pop to Lokrum Island. It's the same price as going to the walls, which I think is a bit ridiculous. There's also a really historical part of Lokrum Island that you can visit. You can have an audio guide. I think it's free. You can go in a little tourist center and get an audio guide, and you can go around the island visiting the botanical gardens, visiting the old castle, and you can learn about the history of the island, which I thought was really good. If you also really love Game of Thrones, there's a replica of the throne, the Iron Throne, in a monastery next to the tourist center. So I thought it was a little bit tacky, but I mean it's good fun. I didn't sit on the throne because it was a huge queue, but I thought it was nice. It wasn't a great replica, but I mean it's okay. We also took the cable car to go up the hill to see Dubrovnik and Lokrum from a high point of view, and that was beautiful, but that was also very expensive to do when there wasn't very much to do at the top. We just ate our lunch there basically, but it was still a really good thing to do. It's just, I think Dubrovnik is all about experiencing the beauty that is Dubrovnik. Overall, it's really good to walk within the set of Game of Thrones and King's Landing, but I wish it just didn't have to take away some of the loveliness that is Dubrovnik. It feels like the city has completely surrendered to tourism. There's not one place that still is kind of authentic. Since the old town is not that big in the first place, there's not one single restaurant that only locals frequent. That's what I didn't like in Dubrovnik, but obviously it's a little paradise. It's really beautiful, but if you're looking for an experience, like a Croatian experience, then Dubrovnik is not the place. Thank you to my 11 followers on YouTube. Thank you for watching me. That's really lovely. Probably not talking to many people, but I'm really enjoying making these videos and I'm really enjoying my trip.